Hey everyone, welcome to a very special DIY project video. Today I'll be showing you how to make these cute, adorable little ornament wreaths, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys want more videos like this, more DIY projects from me, just like this video or leave a comment down below. Let's get started. The items you will need to make these cute wreaths are some wreaths. I got these in Michael's and then the grapevine ones, some ball garland, and some tinsel. Now I'll be using this tinsel to wrap the wreaths up, but if you guys want to keep them in the natural state you can, or you can also use other things like ribbon or whatever else you have. You'll also need some ornaments, and the smaller the better due to the size of the wreath. And I got these at Target for $3 a box. And the last thing you'll need is a glue gun and some glue stick refills. Now the first step is to take your wreath and your tinsel and start wrapping it up. You'll need your glue gun for this, and be careful it gets hot. So you just put a bit of glue down, and then you take your tinsel and you apply it on top of the glue like so. To make it easier to wrap the tinsel around the wreath, I cut a amount of tinsel beforehand so that I can easily just put it through the middle of the wreath like so. Of where I cut the tinsel, I'm just adding some more glue and folding it over. And press down really hard so that it stays put. The next step is to take your ornaments and to pull off the little hanging pieces on the top. It's very easy, you just hold it and pull like that. The next step is to add the ornaments. So I'm starting with the inner circle of the wreath, and you just add some glue to the tip of the ornament and just secure it down to the wreath. And I'm using a variety of different ornaments, sparkly and matte, so just make sure to change up the style and colors of the ornaments so that you don't have the same thing next to each other. Now it's very important that you leave a space in the inside of the wreath and on the outside you'll see later, because that's where you're going to add the string to tie up your wreath. Now I forgot to do that in this video, so you'll see that I went all the way, like right there. In the end I just took one out and left the space in. Now you just continue the exact same thing on the outside circle of the wreath. You add in your ornaments and you can rotate color and style. So I lost some footage while I was filming this, so the next bit you're going to see that I have completed adding all of the ornaments. What I did next was just take some ornaments and add it to the middle of the wreath. What I did also was cut the little tips off with a scissor because it allowed the ornaments to lay flat on the inside. And that's what it looks like. And you can see up there I left a little space so I can hang the ribbon. The next step is to cover up the little spaces and gaps that I have pointed to with my finger, and that's where you're going to use the ball garland and some leftover tinsel. This is up to you. If you guys want to use other stuff, go right ahead. If you even have smaller ornaments, you can also add those into the spaces. I'm using this ball garland in gold because I thought it would add a really cool accent to it. Now again, you can add as much as you want or as little as you want of anything, so it's all up to you and you can have total creative control with this. Now if you're using leftover tinsel like I did to fill in the spaces, just be aware that the hot glue will melt the tinsel, so it will leave a funny smell. Now don't worry, that is just the tinsel melting and it's completely fine and normal. And if you're not used to using a hot glue gun, just be careful because adding these little details can really burn your fingers and it kind of hurts, so just be careful, and if you're too young, ask your parents to help you out. Once you're satisfied with all the spaces being filled up and you have the wreath the way you want it to, the next step is to just add a piece of ribbon to the top so you can have something to hang it from. I'm going to use this green organza that has some gold to it. I think it went perfectly with my wreath, but you guys can use anything that you have at home or some ribbon or even some red velveteen ribbon. So just cut the ribbon or the organza at the length that you want and tie a knot. I'm using a double knot just to secure it better, and I just flipped it over so that the knot is in the inside. The next step is to take more of that ribbon and just tie a cute little bow. Once you're satisfied with the way your bow looks, fluff it up and just cut the little tails. And don't forget to trim the ends of the loop we made on the top of the wreath. For what I do now is I add some more tinsel to the top of the wreath because with the bow I didn't want it to sort of cave into that little gap, so I added some more tinsel to puff it up a bit better. You just add some glue to the bow and glue it down to the